challenging election. Let me tell you, every challenge, every election has its peculiar challenges. In 2021, because you asked me the elections I've organized, 2021 elections which my colleagues, some of my colleagues and I organized, had COVID. They were in the midst of the COVID epidemic. That was very challenging. So this one, by the way, the elections of 2026, the major challenge is on the bad manners of candidates of some people. That's true. The major challenge the commission faces in these elections is the bad manners of some people. Period.
That it is the easiest election ever. Apart from the people who is indisciplined, indisciplined scenarios. For example, of course, he's talking about the NOP. You get
bad manners. But if everybody was well behaved, good mannered, law abiding, and following what we are saying, there would be no problem at all. Bad manners. That's the biggest challenge.
How childhood neglect creates romantic.
Kyekisomooza ekisingirayo ddala mu teekateeka yaffe y'ebyokulonda. So, but I want to say every election has its own peculiar challenges, and njagala kiddamu kakati abantu what do you call it, to sharpen the eye, Hajet. Balabi nnyo kati ku byokulonda, abantu baagala kutegeera ddala gundi mwami Mugerwa yeesimbyewo ayina ebisaanyizo oba byakimpatiira. Batunula kati munange wegendereze era kati ndowooza 23 abagenda kwesimba agenda kwegendereza. Tumala galeeta olupapula signature teziriiwo naye n'oleeta n'oteekayo ng'ate naruli byayitamu bwe bityo nedda ssebo kati abantu balaba nno eriiso litoola ng'oweke wegendereze n'oleeta olupapula empapula z'obuyigirize naawe kimanyi mbulimu naye olupapula luno kirina olina emmotoka shoka buzoba tule mukinya pupu kasite tambula naye shoka buzoba zino kirabika zeetaaga replacement empapula zo zeetaaga ku replacement lwaki tozireplace nga tunagenda kukusuusulwamu abantu kati balaba nnyo munnange. How many have we discussed? By the way, now this I'm coming to the critical thing that according to what is happening, you seem to be targeting candidates. We don't target any candidate because he or she belongs to this party or not. Please. Our decisions are purely based on evidence presented before us.
Purely based on evidence
governing whatever electoral activity is being challenged. I repeat. Ensalawo yaffe tetuteeka liiso kubanga gundi bwe kibiina bwe kiti oba bwe kiti. Tusinziira ku bujulizi obuleeteddwa, amateeka kye gagamba, kyekyokka kye tulaba. Oyinza okwesanga ate n'ekyokubiri waliwo bagamba nti waliwo ab'ebibiina ebivuganya betugamba nti kuno eno petition temuli asigaleyo abeereyo tubayina mwagala tubawo bwino yonna kale olujja tugenda balaga nti twafuna petition bweti ono yali flaga bearer nga baagala bamuggyemu ne tugaana ne tufuna petition bweti ne tugaana. Juzi bali baagala tujjemu bagundi bano nakawaki division west baawa
LOP Ssenyonyi
ne tugamba nti nedda basigaleyo tulinze kooti oba nekiriziganya naffe tetumanyi. Ate nekyokubiri etteeka ligamba nti kakiiko we kamala kuwa ensala oli n'atamatira yeyongereyo mu kooti. That's what the rule of law is all about. That's what fairness is all about. That's what justice is all about. That your door is not shut by the commission. You can go to the courts of law. Weyongereyo mu kooti. Tuli kooti yakasala ko gumugoka. Naye omanyi kyewuunya. banange batuvuma ne batuvuma ne sekuvumirira kooti bwe yasala saddayo kuwulira muntu yenna ng'alina kyagamba. Anyway, ensi bweti bwebeera. We accept that. So anyway, it's not true we are targeting any particular political party, no. As I said, we don't generate these petitions. Everyone is given a hearing, and the decision is based on the law and the evidence as we interpret it.
Okay.
The commission, in entertaining these petitions, gives every person the right of hearing.
Right of
We
hearing.
invite the petitioner, we invite the person complained against to come either with their lawyers or witnesses and whatever evidence they have to back up their claim or to support their nomination.
Okay.
We have been giving them a hearing. But there are those who don't turn up. They refuse even when we inform them. They don't show up.
They don't show up.
And even in the courts of law, there is a procedure. If it is proved that you were notified or served that you are required to appear in court on such a day for your case and you don't show up, and there is sufficient proof in that regard, the case can be had ex parte without your presence. And the court will decide the case on the basis of the evidence of the one party who has showed up. So even in this particular case, in the majority of cases, the parties were turning up. Even those, the respondents of those complained about, were turning up. And we are according everybody, or we do accord everybody a hearing, and we receive whatever evidence they have. It is only, and we allow them to make even submissions or arguments, closing arguments, either through their lawyers or by themselves.
Honey, have you been going to the gym lately?
No, I'm doing military calisthenics 15 minutes a day.
It is only after that that we take a decision. We are not going to close our eyes if we find there were illegalities in the nomination of an individual. If I may highlight some of them, the law says that your nomination paper must have the names of the necessary number of supporters with their villages indicated, NIN number or voter number, with their occupation indicated, and signature.
Occupation and signature.
But some of them were presenting papers without signatures. And the law has said if a nomination paper has not been signed in accordance with the law, then it is void. It's null and void.
Hey.
We are not going to close our eyes to that. Some of them were putting supporters of persons who are confirmed to have died. They put their names there. The relative of the dead person comes and says, this person died. Some of them, academic qualifications. Anyway, I don't want to go to the details and the reasons, but the whole point I'm making is that there is raised vigilance on the part of the voters to understand, to ascertain, to question the eligibility of a nominated candidate. And as a result, people are following the law, complaining against these nominations. The commission has been giving the parties a hearing. It is only after that we make a decision. I think that addresses the issue of disqualifications. Yes, the law does not put a cap or a stop or a timeline on when we should hear these petitions. Because the Constitution says one of our functions is to hear electoral-related complaints before and during polling. Even on polling day, one can file a complaint about the process, and the commission is required to entertain that complaint and take a decision. It is only after the polling has closed, the results have been declared, and so on, that the powers of the commission cease. But if there are any complaints regarding what transpired during polling day, then that matter goes to the courts of law.
Okay.
For them to decide. That's why you have election petitions filed challenging the outcome of an election. I think I've answered that one. Now on the go home or stay
kakume wogenda waka
matter or aspect. First of all, The commission works in line with the law. The commission is alive and aware of that provision of the law that says voters can stand 20 meters
can stand
out
20
from polling
meters
station.
away from the polling station.
We have said, be that as it may, let us look at the practical
part of
realities.
Yeah.
One, in 2020, we had some polling stations in 2021, sorry. We had some polling stations. I had thought I would come with the statistics here, but I look for my paper, I will get it and be able to share it with the members of the public. Where some polling stations, the Electoral Commission was not able to declare or to announce the results. Why? Because the people who had gathered around the polling station started some altercation or some kavuyo. Either fight among themselves, or it was deliberately organized or orchestrated, and in the process of this altercation between themselves, they invaded the polling station, they grabbed the ballot box, they destroyed the materials, and therefore there was nothing the Electoral Commission could either count or declare at that polling station.
Okay.
Secondly, in 2020, we also received reports in some polling stations. There were a number of people who were around and their conduct was intimidating. They were intimidating some voters whom they perceived to be voting for a particular candidate or party. We have that also. There's one of them, I talked to one of the Ugandans who told me, I think he was voting from a polling station in Luzira, that he was made to understand before going to the polling station. He said there is a group of very hostile youth, I don't want to mention the party that man said they belong to, who are scaring voters. You come, they look at you with glazed eyes, hostile eyes, and so on. So this man said, for me, I will die with some of them. He got a hammer and put it in his jacket and then proceeded.
So after hearing that there were some hostile groups at the polling station, so the guy decided to get a small hammer, and he had the small hammer in the coat.
The polling station. When they tried to intimidate them, he said, for me, you play with me. Before you finish me, I will have finished some of you. Now, we said, thirdly, we have also said, in some of these polling stations, especially in urban areas, the places are so squeezed. Yes.
Believe it or not, I will draw the person you will marry. One of my clients asked for a refund. She thought the man I sketched looked...
They're so small that even the distances, if you look at the law prescribes 20. The distance between the first table, the second table, and the third table.
Oh.
The law says the distance between the first table where the voters report and where the BVVK kit and the ballot papers are should be the next table where the polling takes place from where the basin is, should be 15 meters from that first table.
15 meters.
Then from this second table where the basin is to the third table where the ballot box is, it should be 10 meters. Then from that one to where the person who is supposed to ink your thumb or whatever it is should be 10 meters. When you look at some of these polling stations, that distance is not even adequate to be strictly adhered to. Now, we say, if a polling station has 600 voters and they all turn up to vote, really, you tell them to hang around. Yes, the law says they can hang around 20 meters away.
20 meters
but
away.
Even implementing that will be a very big challenge because of lack of space. So either people may crowd on the road, which is leading to the polling station, or they may find themselves positioned in such a way that they will not observe the 20 meters from this polling table. And we're saying that might go, one, it might, and another point we pointed out, or we wanted people to appreciate. You have 8 presidential candidates.
8.
Each one of them has 2 agents.
Those
you
are
have
16.
5 or 10 members of candidates for
15.
parliament. Each is entitled to 2 agents. Woman member of parliament, may about 4 or 5. In this sense, you have at one polling station in total about, on average, 15 candidates. Those are already 30 agents. Ladies and gentlemen, already there is a crowd at the polling station. And those are allowed inside the polling station, the agents. The people who are pushing for the people to remain around are saying that you have to remain around to protect our vote, to safeguard our vote. That is the reason they are pushing that keep around so that you protect or safeguard your vote. But we are saying, if your concern is protection of the vote or safeguarding the vote,
yes,
then there are already people who are authorized in law to do that. And these are the agents of the candidates.
Agents of the
and
candidates.
Those are the agents who are already allowed inside the polling station right from the hour the polling station opens until counting, until close of the polling station. You have 30 agents. Those are more than enough protectors. Then you have observers. You have accredited observers and accredited agents about political parties. You already have enough.
That you already have enough. That is what he's saying. That you already have enough. That's what
Do you
he's
speak
saying.
English?
More or less.
How old are you?
I have 28.
So basically, that is it.
Then we also say,
and I want to look at some of the comments, what people are saying about this. Maria, good mannered like Museveni, blocking Massacre Road for a full day. For a full day. Okay. Then we have the EC had 5 years to organize these elections. It doesn't make sense for the chair to bring a change of rules at the last hour. The EC baada baina emyaka 5 to organize, but they are now panicking at the end. That it doesn't make sense. You get it? You should have suggested all these through Parliament at the beginning in order to effect the law properly. For the 6 years they had, at least, Akana za kuchitwala mu Parliament would have presented it to Parliament to be effected. So that is what Andrew is telling us. Then we have Elizabeth. That is Byabakama for you. Gogo no Byabakama one. Chaplain. That bad manners and impunity should include the police and the military. That bad manners and impunity should include the police and the military, and some of the officials from the Electoral Commission. Imagine what happened in Kawempe by elections. You know what happened in the Kawempe by elections? People are not stupid as these guys want to impose them to be. Abantu basiru. Abantu basiru. What a gira. That is chaplain for you. Last time, Sir Simon Byabakama in office, save this comment. Last time Sir Simon Byabakama ngu ejeje last time ya Byabakama to be in that office. Timaisa echijja si muntu. Echijja si muntu. Naston naye mukama. Here you creature Byabakama. Naye mukama here you creature Byabakama. That is serious. Musoke Joshua tegedde tugenda kuba Byabakama. Bagenda kuba Byabakama. Landage 721. Why would you protect Ssenyonyi if his candidature and legal deficiencies? So in other words, remember, they said there's a constituency which is not in law. So they wanted, and that constituency is for Joel Ssenyonyi. That they wanted Byabakama and the team to remove that constituency. But they were like, no, leave Ssenyonyi to stand. That is waiting for the court. That for them, they said, no, let him be there. That's so, in other words, that he protected Ssenyonyi. Yes, so here that's what Landis is saying. Godfrey Brothers, Onom 7 is special envoy. Onom 7 is special envoy in the Electoral Commission. Automatically is the one who chose him. What do you expect? What do you expect? Then Maria Steele naye Byabakama obu waraba nga akaruru naye Byabakama obu waraba nga akaruru akakyalina omwaka turowooze nti akaruru katuuse oryoke oyogere kutusomesa abanarondesa kati gwe mu kusooka wali otongoza byaki obwo butari bumanyirivu bwe Ssenyonyi. So in other words, remember they are saying they are going to train those people, yet we have only 2 weeks. So this is what Maria is saying. What to know? I want to know your ancestors if they didn't collaborate with colonialists. I think this is so this is one of the best comments this year, 2026. That is Bogere. Bogere said, I want to know your ancestors if they didn't collaborate with the colonialists. That Byabakama's ancestors must have collaborated with the colonialists to take over Uganda or Africa. Yes. Waiswa Byabakama yesesa obuseko obukabya. Nguyesesya obuseko. What do you mean bad manners when your candidate Museveni sits in the middle of the road inconveniencing everyone and you say nothing? That is self-explanatory. Then Fulare Njurezi ngotandise n'amaanyi. Njurezi agamba Fulare we the people have the right to witness the vote counting, and how come you the EC boss hasn't mentioned how the EC officials were intimidated by gunmen who stuffed ballot boxes for the current government, and the arrest of opposition party agents, Stupid. We are not fools. This time we are watching our votes. Njurezi, Jewels. I get you. Then we have Ezra Semper, Byabakama. You don't violate the law because there were incidences. Byabakama, you don't violate the law because there were incidences in 2021. You instead increase your capacity to handle and maintain the law. Stop fooling us. Police causes violence and you defend it. That is Ezra Semper. Ezra Semper. Hey, Byabakama, you don't violate the law because there were incidences. So in other words, Byabakama is saying people should go home because of what's happened in some polling stations last time. So Ezra is saying you do not violate the law because of the incidences, but instead you increase your staff or the capacity to handle and maintain the law. Yes, this has some sense. It has some good sense. Charlie Gonza, you eat, but soon you will vomit one time. Unaweza kutanaka. Safina, he doesn't accuse Kyagulanyi of being indisciplined, but His Excellency. That is it. Members, what do you think about this video? I'm closing this. I'm starting another video. But what do you think about this video? Drop a comment, like, share, subscribe if you're new. Take a candle and also in comment section. See you in the next video.